Hello boys and girls! Last time I promised a proper science production setup. However, I think we are here to focus on the Bob's and Angel's peculiarities of this game run, so let's do a quick run through. I thought this would be easy, just a few hours work. No. In order to get one yellow belt of science, you need hundreds of assemblers producing, and those need to be crafted first, before they can be placed. That's a lot of steel. On top of that, the science recipes are also more complicated. Therefore, I ended up creating a separate factory for the basic and electronic circuits. More steel demand. And just looking at this, I feel that the circuit production is not really expandable to include the next tier. All this also meant a lot more trains and stations and even a pit stop for coal refueling. With this out of the way, we can further our research as we unlocked some further technologies relating to processing the new ores. So let's cue that up. As we struggle with iron and steel, there is an alternate recipe that uses 50% silicon, which should help greatly. I anticipated that the ore patches will be in the way of our ore processing, and I was correct. Instead of trying to squeeze something in, let's set up military science, which needs stone bricks. Now we have a proper use for the crushed stone, we just have to turn the output down where we have room for a smelter. The science setup itself is about the same size as green, but this time around I built it backwards, starting with the science itself. With more and more train stations, it becomes a real nuisance to coordinate the trains where they have to go, as our setup is still missing a circuit component that we only can research with blue science. So that's the next goal. For that we need plastics, then transistors, which leads to the red advanced circuits. For plastic there are many ways. I choose the one that seems the easiest, as it does not need oil processing but catalyzers instead. So I place the setup here where I have access to silver and aluminium or aluminum ore. Before we can get to the red circuits, we have a massive power issue. We cannot deliver enough coal for the power need, and we need to build more. So I think I want to create an energy out of water going through green algae, fibers, wood pellets, and finally charcoal. With the amount we are producing, we can create more power than the setup needs. We also need the charcoal for carbon production to be more sparingly on our coal use, as I'm already on the last coal patch that I can see. We also need ferric chloride solution. As a byproduct of that is sodium hydroxide, which is something we need anyway for chemical science and aluminum processing, so let's build that at proper scale. In the production pipeline for the boards, we end up with a surplus of green algae due to the recipe I choose. We can turn that into pellets and get more power out of it. However, we have to ensure that this does not backlog, as it would block the production of paper. This was the last big hurdle on the way to the red circuits. Everything else is just putting the things together. And the best thing is, with this in place, we have almost everything for the chemical science. This is the first science that is different than in vanilla, when it comes to the items required. We need the red circuits, which is kind of the same, but as we have seen, more complicated to get there. We also need sodium hydroxide, that we have also covered. Sulfur, checked. The only thing that is missing is the engines. We can assemble them on site and ship everything else in. To finish off today's episode, let's do some more work with ores. We can combine crushed ores to get iron and manganese out of. This is a good thing, as our iron and steel production relies on silicon to mix in, and there is just not enough to go around. Switching iron to the recipe with manganese should solve that. Then there is the processing of zinc and aluminium. Combining zinc and copper gets us an additional alloy, unlocking a further research. I think this will do for now. Next time we'll probably look into the whole oil and natural gas side of things. Until then, goodbye!